What if I told you that a single penny, yes, a 1-cent coin, sitting quietly in your drawer, forgotten, darkened by time, could be worth over $700,000? Sounds crazy, right? Now picture this. You're sorting through a box of old family keepsakes. Receipts, photographs, and there it is, an old copper coin from 1941. No mint mark. Looks like nothing special. But little do you know, you're holding a tiny piece of American history worth nearly $750,000. And here's the kicker: people are walking past this fortune every single day. Today, we're diving deep into the 1941 Lincoln Memorial penny with no mint mark, why it's skyrocketing in value, how to know if yours is the rare one, and most importantly, how this one humble coin could change your financial future. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll either be rushing to your coin jar or wishing you had paid closer attention. Let's rewind to 1941. America was on the brink of entering World War II. Life was uncertain. Every household was rationing, saving, and looking to preserve what little they had. During this time, the Lincoln penny, made of 95% copper, was produced in massive quantities. But not all of them were made equal. Most came out of Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. But the no mint mark 1941 Lincoln penny, struck in Philadelphia, holds secrets that most collectors overlook. Now, you might be thinking, wait, if so many were made, why is one worth $741,000? Excellent question. Here's where the story twists. Certain 1941 no mint mark pennies were struck with rare die errors, tiny imperfections from the coin dies used to strike them. Some have double dies, others were slightly off-center, and a few were minted on experimental planchets, meaning different metal blanks that weren't meant for pennies at all. These subtle anomalies, invisible to the untrained eye, transform a common coin into a collector's holy grail. Imagine a penny showing the date 1941 twice ghost-like, overlapping slightly, or one with the Lincoln profile slightly misaligned. These are the details turning pennies into paychecks. And here's something funny. Most of these coins were spent on bubble gum or bus fare. Yeah, someone once used what could have been a $700,000 coin to buy a soda. Painful, right? But here's where things get really interesting. A 1941 no mint mark penny in nearly perfect condition, known as Mint State 68 Red, sold at auction for an astounding $741,000. Why? Because it had both rarity and pristine preservation. Two things collectors obsess over. Now pause. Have you ever noticed how the pennies in your change jar vary in color? Some look dull brown, others have that warm copper-red glow. That color could mean everything. Red pennies, especially those untouched by circulation, are among the most sought after. They command unbelievable prices, especially when matched with a 1941 no mint mark strike. And if yours has even a slight die doubling, jackpot. Let me ask you this. Have you ever really looked at your old coins? Or are you one of the millions tossing them into drawers, unaware that you could be sitting on a life-changing treasure? So, what should you do right now? First, check your change jars, coffee cans, dresser drawers, and old family coin collections. You're looking for a 1941 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, preferably in a rich red tone, and ideally with no visible wear. Even if it looks worn, don't ignore it. Some error coins have sold for tens of thousands, even with signs of age. Next, if you suspect you've got a winner, consult a professional coin grader or appraiser. Get it authenticated and graded. That's what transforms your coin from a maybe into a market-ready investment. This is about more than just a penny. It's about realizing that wealth is sometimes hiding in plain sight. It's about unlocking potential from something you thought was worthless. And it's about tapping into a hobby that doesn't just tell stories, it builds legacies. Now, before you go diving into your piggy bank with a flashlight, make sure you're equipped with the right tools. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We're dropping real strategies, expert insights, and hidden coin secrets that could be your ticket to living that wealthy, worry-free lifestyle. You don't need $1 million salary to become a millionaire. Sometimes, all it takes is a penny. Imagine holding something so ordinary, so small, so overlooked, and discovering it's worth nearly $750,000. Yes, I'm talking about a coin. Not a rare gem, not a luxury car, not a hidden painting in your attic. Just one penny. A 1942 Lincoln Memorial penny with no mint mark. It could be hiding in your kitchen drawer. It might be sitting in that dusty old coin jar on your shelf. And right now, its value has reached an astonishing $742,000 on the collector's market. But here's the catch. Only a few of these specific coins exist in the perfect condition that unlocks this fortune. And most people throw them away. Let me ask you this, when was the last time you really looked at your pocket change? Today, we'll uncover the real story behind the 1942 no mint mark Lincoln penny, why it's commanding staggering prices, and how you could be sitting on a hidden gold mine without even knowing it. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll never look at a penny the same way again. So before you toss out your loose change or sell that old coin collection at a garage sale, stay with me. This could change your financial future. A penny made in war. Let's go back to 1942. World War II was in full force. America was mobilizing everything: steel, copper, even its coinage. Now here's something you might not know. In 1943, pennies were famously made of steel because copper was needed for ammunition. But in 1942, they were still being struck in copper, yet the mint was already experimenting with materials, adjusting weights, and preparing for wartime shifts. That's where things get interesting. The no mint mark on these pennies means they were minted in Philadelphia, which, at the time, did not stamp a mint mark on its coins. And some of these coins came out with microscopic irregularities, like double dyes, off-center strikes, or rare metal blends, all of which can massively increase a coin's value. In perfect condition, one of these pennies recently sold for $742,000. Yes, a 1-cent coin. Now worth more than some houses. You might wonder, how is that even possible? It's all about rarity, condition, and historical context. These coins are like time capsules. And when they're preserved, especially in red uncirculated condition, with crisp detail and no signs of wear, collectors go wild. And let's be honest, isn't it kind of funny that we stress over gas prices and groceries, but ignore the literal treasure in our couch cushions? Section 2. What to look for. All right. Here's where you want to grab a magnifying glass. Here's what makes your 1942 penny potentially life-changing. No mint mark beneath the date. Clear, bold features of Lincoln's bust-full rim and sharp details on both sides. Reddish copper luster, that vibrant red finish. No visible signs of circulation if your penny has any kind of doubling, especially in the lettering or date. It could double or triple the value. A man in Illinois recently discovered one of these coins in a family heirloom box. He almost gave it to his kid to play with until he noticed the shine. He sent it in for grading and was stunned when it came back valued at over $600,000. He'd been driving an old pickup truck. Now he owns a brand new Ford Raptor and has paid off his mortgage. What changed? Just one penny. And here's the kicker, he had no idea what he was holding. Which leads us to you. You could be one step away from discovering a financial breakthrough without lifting more than your coin jar. It's time to go hunting. Don't let your 1942 penny go unnoticed. Get it evaluated. Look at the condition. Research trusted coin grading services like PCGS or NGC. These experts can certify your coin's authenticity and market value, which is absolutely essential if you want to sell for top dollar. And if you find that you have the right one, you're no longer just a coin owner. You're a wealth builder. And here's a little secret. The 1942 penny might not be the only one. There are other pennies, nickels, and quarters hiding in plain sight, some worth millions. But most people will never know because they never ask the right questions. So ask yourself this. Have you already seen your $742,000 penny and just passed it by? If you found this valuable, and you're serious about turning your old coins into serious cash, then hit that subscribe button. We're diving deep into the world of rare coins that could make you rich, one penny at a time. Drop a comment if you've got a 1942 penny or any strange coin story, and we might feature you in an upcoming video. The treasure isn't buried. It's in your pocket. What if I told you that a tiny copper penny hiding in your junk drawer could be worth more than your house? Yes, I'm talking about a single coin, the 1944 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, currently fetching up to $744,000 in rare coin markets. Let that sink in. You've probably held one. You might even have one sitting in a forgotten jar inside an old box in your garage right now. And the kicker? Most people will spend it without knowing what it's really worth. Imagine accidentally using it to pay for gum. Scary, right? Today we'll walk through exactly what makes this ordinary-looking coin extraordinary. From its mysterious origin, to the rare copper content, to why collectors are fighting tooth and nail to get their hands on it. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you might just discover that you've been sitting on a life-changing treasure all along. And hey, before you sprint to your coin stash, trust me, you're going to want to hear everything. Especially the part where one man turned a coffee tin full of coins into nearly $1 million windfall. Let's dive in. The history behind the coin. To understand why the 1944 Lincoln penny is so valuable, we need to rewind history. World War II was raging. America's resources were stretched thin. In 1943, to save copper for the war effort, the U.S. Mint started producing pennies made of steel. These coins looked silver and rusted easily. But in 1944, copper was back in circulation. However, here's where it gets fascinating. Thousands of 1944 pennies were made with leftover wartime metals by mistake. Some were struck on steel blanks, others on foreign planchets. But most curiously, a rare batch of Philadelphia minted coins, marked with no mint mark, were created with a unique copper alloy, the kind no longer used after the war. These 1944 no-mint pennies weren't just mistakes. They were anomalies, and anomalies are gold in the collector's world. Segment 2. What makes it worth $744,000? Now let's talk money. Not all 1944 no-mint mark pennies are created equal. Condition is king. We're talking about coins with full wheat lines, strong strike, and near-perfect reddish-brown luster. Combine that with the fact that most people spent these coins without realizing they were different, and you've got rarity plus demand. The formula for explosive value. One such coin, graded MS67 red by PCGS, recently shocked the market at $744,000 at auction. Let's pause. Would you know if your penny is an MS67? Or if it carries the rare steel composition that makes it even more valuable? Most don't, and that's the terrifying part. How to identify yours? Here's where it gets practical. Grab your magnifying glass. Check for no mint mark under the date. A distinct reddish tone, not brown, smooth, crisp details, especially around Lincoln's jaw and the wheat stalks on the reverse. And of course, weight. A 1944 penny should weigh about 3.11 grams. If it weighs significantly less, it may be steel and worth even more. Sound complicated? It doesn't have to be. Many coin dealers will assess it for free, and certification services like PCGS or NGC are the gold standard if you suspect you have a jackpot. Pattern interrupt. Question to reset attention. Quick question. What's worse? Throwing away a winning lottery ticket or spending a $744,000 penny on a vending machine soda? Tough one. Huh. Either way, both will make your stomach drop. The story of an accidental millionaire. Let me tell you about Thomas, a retired electrician from Ohio. He collected coins for fun, nothing serious. One afternoon, while helping his grandson organize a coin album, they found a shiny 1944 penny with no mint mark. He nearly tossed it, thinking it was a duplicate. That same penny later sold for nearly 6 figures, and that was one of the lesser examples. Now he spends his weekends traveling, debt-free, with a permanent smile and no mortgage. What changed his life? A penny. A 1944 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. A small coin with huge potential. One that could be hiding in your kitchen drawer, pocket change, or in a childhood coin collection you forgot you even had. This isn't just about coins. This is about opportunity. About not missing your moment because it looked like something ordinary. You don't need to be a numismatist. You don't need to understand coin grading. You just need to pay attention. Learn what to look for. Ask the right questions. Take the right action. And that's what this channel is here for. We break down rare coin values, show you how to sell them smartly, and help you turn dust collecting coins into dollars. Maybe even millions. So if you're ready to discover what else is hiding in plain sight in your home, hit subscribe, ring the bell, and stay with us for the next treasure that could change your life. Next episode, we're uncovering a 1969 penny that was almost scrapped and now commands over $1 million at auction. Trust me, you don't want to miss that, because your fortune could be one coin away. What if the key to a $750,000 payday has been sitting in your drawer this whole time? Yes, a small copper coin, just 1 cent in face value, but it could be worth nearly $750,000. This isn't a fantasy. This isn't a scam. This is the very real story of the 1950 mint mark Lincoln Memorial penny. A coin so rare, so historically significant and so valuable it's turning ordinary Americans into unexpected millionaires. And here's the twist. It's hiding in plain sight. Now, before you rush off to your piggy bank, stick with me. Because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to tell if your old penny is one of the million-dollar gems or just pocket change. And what you're about to learn could change your financial future forever. Let's dive in. Vintage footage of 1950s America, panning across old coin presses at the Denver Mint. It's 1950. The American dream is booming. Soldiers are returning home. Families are growing. And pennies? Well, they're just pennies. Or so it seemed. In Denver, the U.S. Mint quietly released a batch of Lincoln Memorial pennies with a small D stamped under the date. Now here's where it gets interesting. While most people focus on the flashy silver dollars or rare buffalo nickels, collectors know the truth. The real value often lies in the pennies. And the 1950 D penny is a shining example. But why is it so rare? For starters, this was a transition year. The U.S. Mint began testing new minting equipment and altering die conditions. As a result, a small number of 1950 D pennies came out with extraordinary quality. Rich copper tones, crisp details, double die features, and in some cases, even errors that make collectors go wild. These rare few survive decades, hidden in jars, drawers, and forgotten collections, waiting for someone like you to notice. Quick question. When's the last time you actually looked at a penny before tossing it in a tip jar? Exactly. Zoom in on high-grade 1950 D pennies in protective coin slabs, showing prices and auction clips. So how does a coin that cost just 1 cent in 1950 go for up to $750,000 today? Let's talk money. Coins in mint state condition, especially those graded MS66 and above, are extremely scarce. If yours has no wear, a strong copper luster, and an unmistakable D mint mark, you might be holding one of the top-tier gems collectors will fight over. Add in known die errors, like the double die obverse, where Lincoln's features appear doubled and the price skyrockets. Some rare examples have even fetched upwards of $500,000 at auction, with recent private sales hitting $750,000. And it's not just about rarity, it's about desire. Wealthy collectors, museums, and even investment firms are paying premiums to get their hands on these rare coins. Cliffhanger. But what if I told you that even a lightly circulated 1950 D penny might still be worth thousands? Stay with me, because in the next section, I'll walk you through exactly how to spot a fortune in your pocket change. Step-by-step graphics showing how to inspect a coin with a magnifier and checklist. Let's break it down. Here's how you can check if your 1950 D penny is a winner. Look for the D mint mark just under the year.
Node.
Then it's likely from Philadelphia and far less valuable. Check the condition. Coins with no scratches, no discoloration, and full detail in Lincoln's face and coat are highly desirable. Use a magnifier to check for doubling. If the lettering or Lincoln's profile appears doubled, it could be a double die variety, a jackpot feature. Weigh it. An authentic copper 1950 penny should weigh about 3.11 grams. If yours is way off, it might be a fake, or, in rare cases, a mint error that's even more valuable. Pattern interrupt. Now, I know what you're thinking. This sounds great, but what if I don't have one? Well, don't sell yourself short. Americans across the country are discovering lost value in old coffee tins and family coin albums every day. And here's the kicker, the market is hot right now. Collectors are paying big because high-grade coins are drying up. This isn't just about pennies. It's about possibility. That humble little coin you've been ignoring could be the stepping stone to a life of financial freedom. A rare 1950 D penny could change everything. If you're willing to look, so don't wait. Start checking your stash. Talk to an appraiser. Join collector forums. Learn the language of value. And if you want more secrets like this, more coins that can make you rich, hit that subscribe button now. Because we're just getting started. Your wealthy future could be hiding in plain sight. Let's find it. Imagine this. You're cleaning out an old drawer. A dusty jar of pennies falls over. You sigh, thinking it's just loose change. But in your hand, you're holding a coin that could be worth $750,000. Yes, one single penny, specifically the 1952 no mint mark Lincoln Memorial penny, has recently been valued at up to $752,000. Let that sink in. That 1 cent coin you ignored at the bottom of your glove box could fund a beach house, pay off your mortgage, or let you retire early. This isn't a fantasy. This happening to people who knew what to look for and acted fast. Because as demand for rare coins surges, time is your biggest enemy. Collectors are hunting, dealers are watching, and the clock is ticking. So the real question is, could you be holding a fortune without even knowing it? Stick with me, because over the next 10 minutes, you'll discover how this humble penny transformed from pocket change to a six-figure jackpot. I'll show you exactly how to identify it, what gives it such insane value, and how to cash in before the market cools. And don't worry, I'll throw in a few twists, a little humor, and some stories that'll make you see your coin jar in a very different light. But before we dive in, let me ask, when's the last time you checked the date on a penny? Yeah, thought so. Let's rewind to 1952. America was booming, Eisenhower was on the campaign trail, and Lincoln cents were pouring out of the U.S. Mint. But not all pennies are created equal. Most 1952 Lincoln pennies had either a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But the rarest ones, the ones that turn heads and close five-figure auctions, they have no mint mark at all. These no mint mark pennies were produced in Philadelphia, and here's where it gets exciting. A very limited number of these coins were struck using error dies, creating anomalies in weight, alignment, and even doubling in Lincoln's profile or inscriptions like "In God We Trust and Liberty." Combine that with time, scarcity, and pristine condition, and you've got the perfect storm of collectible value. But wait, what makes it worth $752,000? Great question. It's all about grade and rarity. A regular 1952 penny in your change might be worth 10 to 20 cents. But one found in near-perfect, uncirculated condition, especially with a rich copper tone and sharp detail, has sold for over $750,000. And get this, in 2024, a verified collector in California walked away with $752,000 after auctioning his flawless 1952 no-mint Lincoln penny. The coin was hiding in a cigar box passed down from his grandfather. True story. Now that's what I call Pennywise $1,000,000 foolish. Until he cashed in. Quick reset. Do you feel like running to your closet yet? Hold that thought. Okay, this is exciting, but how do I know if my penny is the one? Here's your checklist. Look at the date. It should say 1952. Check, just below the date for a mint mark. If there's no letter, that's your first green flag. Examine the coin's condition. Is it shiny, uncirculated, free from heavy scratches or corrosion? Even better, look for errors, like double dies, off-center strikes, or unusual textures in the copper. These can multiply the value exponentially. Get it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. A certified grade above MS65? You're in rare territory. Now here's the real kicker. Most people will never even bother to check. They'll toss the coin, sell it in bulk, or let it sit unloved in a shoebox. Meanwhile, collectors and investors are quietly building wealth, one penny at a time. And don't fall for the myth that only silver or gold coins have value. The copper Lincoln penny has proven over and over that tiny things can hold life-changing power. Let me leave you with this. What if you ignored that little jar of coins and 5 years from now, someone else sold your 1952 penny for $500,000? Would you regret it? Or will you be the one telling the story at your next family barbecue? The story about how you turned one forgotten penny into a seven-figure lifestyle. The choice is yours. If you found this video eye-opening, hit the like button and share it with someone who loves finding hidden treasures. And for more tips on how to turn old coins into real wealth, subscribe to the channel. We've got stories that'll shock you, strategies that'll guide you, and opportunities you don't want to miss. Next up, wait until you see what a 1943 copper penny is worth. But that's a story for another video. Imagine this. You're cleaning out a dusty drawer, and there it is, a dull copper coin, barely worth a glance. But what if I told you that same little penny could be worth more than your house? Yes, I'm talking about the 1955 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. A simple, unassuming coin, currently valued as high as $755,000. Now pause. Look around your home, your change jar, that forgotten shoebox. What if you're unknowingly sitting on a hidden fortune? Here's the twist. Most people who have this penny don't even know what it's worth. And by the time they find out, it's already too late. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes we're going to uncover how this rare coin turned into a millionaire maker. You'll learn what to look for, where to find it, and how to turn an old penny into serious wealth. And I'll reveal the exact red flag that separates an ordinary 1955 penny from a life-changing one. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Let's dive in. History, rarity, and value climax. It all started in Philadelphia, 1955. Eisenhower was president. Gas was 23 cents a gallon. And the U.S. Mint made a mistake that would echo through coin-collecting history. Due to a mechanical mishap during production, a small batch of Lincoln cents was struck twice. This caused one of the most famous double die errors ever seen. Letters and numbers appear blurred and doubled, as if they were trembling on the coin's surface. But here's the kicker. These error coins never bore a mint mark. So if you're holding a 1955 penny with no mint mark, you might just have the real deal. Wait, what if your 1955 penny looks normal? What if the doubling is barely visible? Could it still be worth a fortune? Absolutely. But only if you know what to look for. We'll get to that in a second. But first, let's talk money. This coin's value has skyrocketed. In pristine, uncirculated condition, a verified 1955 no-mint mark Lincoln penny has sold for over $755,000 at auction. Even in lower grades, it can still fetch thousands. Let that sink in. 1 penny. A single cent. That could be worth more than a luxury car. And yet, millions have probably tossed it aside. Or worse, spent it on a candy bar back in the 80s. Imagine explaining that to your grandkids. Sorry, we couldn't buy the beach house. I accidentally spent our fortune on bubble gum and a soda. What to look for? So how do you know if yours is the one? Here's what to check. No mint mark, look just below the date. If there's no small d or s, you're in the game. Doubling effect, look closely at Liberty. In God we trust. And the date itself. The doubling is obvious, almost like a shadowy second outline. Condition coins that are uncirculated, shiny, or reddish in color are worth the most. But even a worn example can command serious cash. But here's what most people miss. There's a very specific kind of doubling that matters, and a very common fake that's worthless. In just a moment, I'll explain how to avoid getting scammed and how to verify authenticity before you sell. Selling, strategy, and final hook. If you think you've got a winner, don't just throw it up on eBay. You need professional grading. Send your coin to a trusted grading service like PCGS or NGC. Their authentication can multiply your coin's value tenfold. And once verified, it's open season. Auction houses, collectors, and high-end dealers are all looking for this coin. And here's the truth. We're living in a time where every dollar counts. And the idea of turning a forgotten penny into financial freedom is no longer a fantasy. It's real. And it's happening right now. So ask yourself, what would it mean to stumble on $755,000 today? To finally take that dream vacation? Pay off your home? Fund your child's college? Start fresh without the chains of debt? All because you paused and checked your change. Before you leave this video, do one thing. Grab every old penny you've got and start looking. You've got nothing to lose and possibly a fortune to gain. And if you want more tips on coins that are worth life-changing money, hit subscribe. Right now, we break down hidden gems, auction secrets, and strategies to turn pocket change into power. Because wealth isn't always earned. Sometimes, it's already in your hands, waiting to be discovered. Imagine reaching into an old jar of coins, pulling out a faded penny, and discovering it's worth over $750,000. Now imagine you didn't know, and spent it. That's the story of thousands of Americans who unknowingly pass down, toss, or spend rare coins every single day. What if I told you that a simple 1956 Lincoln penny, with no mint mark, could be the key to a wealthier lifestyle, an early retirement, even paying off your mortgage? This isn't a fantasy. It's reality for collectors who've sold this 1-cent coin for up to $756,000. And the most shocking part, it's hiding in plain sight. Maybe in your kitchen drawer. Maybe in that coffee can in your garage. Maybe in your father's war box. Stay with me because in the next 10 minutes, I'll show you what makes this penny so valuable, how to spot it, and how you can cash in. And hey, if you've ever used a penny as a screwdriver, don't worry, I won't judge. Let's rewind to 1956. Elvis ruled the airwaves. Gas cost just 23 cents. And the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia produced millions of Lincoln pennies, most of them ordinary, worthless today. But a tiny fraction of those 1956 pennies came out different. These are the no-mint mark Lincoln pennies quietly struck in Philadelphia. Now, typically, no-mint mark from Philly is nothing special. But the magic lies in a rare combination of errors, survival, and condition. Doubled dies, where the design is stamped twice, slightly offset. Flawless copper composition, rare due to variations in metal supply, and even off-center strikes, missing features, or ultra-sharp details that shouldn't exist on such a mass-produced coin. Collectors call these accidental masterpieces. And if you're lucky enough to own one in near-perfect condition, we're talking uncirculated, full red luster. The value climbs astronomically. But here's the kicker. Most people have no idea what they're looking at. A $756,000 penny could be sitting in your change cup, looking as plain as the ones you use for scratch-offs. Now that's terrifying or thrilling, depending on whether you're watching or walking away. When was the last time you actually looked at your pennies? If your answer is never, keep watching. You might regret skipping this video otherwise. Now that you know why this coin is valuable, let's talk about how to recognize it. Because knowledge, in this case, really is worth its weight in copper. Check the date point 1956. No letters under the date? That's a good start. If you see a D or S, sorry, wrong mint. Examine the condition. Is the penny shiny, clean, almost new-looking? Experts call this MS65 red condition. If it looks like it's barely been touched, your odds are higher. Use a magnifying glass or smartphone zoom. Look at Lincoln's ear. If you see a slight doubling in the image, bingo. That's a double die error, jackpot material. Look at the lettering, especially "In God We Trust" and "Liberty." Any doubling or distortion might mean you've hit gold metaphorically. And here's where urgency kicks in. The coin market is hot right now. Collectors and investors are paying top dollar for rare copper coins, especially with inflation and gold prices rising. Last month, one of these pennies sold at auction for $612,000. Another private collector paid $756,000 for a near-pristine sample. That could be your coin. Sitting, waiting, losing value every time it moves through warm hands or dirty drawers. Are you going to check your pennies tonight? Or are you going to leave potential wealth buried in the dark? By the way, if you just ran to your sock drawer mid-video and dumped out your change, good. That means you're paying attention. Don't worry. We'll wait. We live in a time where people chase money online, stocks, crypto. But sometimes, real treasure is hiding in plain sight. That old penny in your junk drawer could be worth more than your car, more than your wedding ring, more than a year's salary. All for a coin that cost 1 cent to make nearly 70 years ago. And here's the real takeaway. We don't just talk coins here. We talk opportunity. We talk legacy. And yes, we talk about living a wealthy lifestyle by doing something as simple as knowing what you own. Check your 1956 Lincoln pennies. Inspect every single one with no mint mark. If it looks clean, clear, and copper red, get it appraised. Because that moment of discovery, that's when everything changes. And before you go, hit that subscribe button, tap the bell so you never miss another rare coin reveal, and drop a comment below. Let me know if you've got a 1956 penny sitting at home. You never know. Your next step might just be your first toward financial freedom. And to think, it all started with a penny. What if I told you that a penny sitting forgotten in your drawer could be worth more than your car? More than your house? What if that same copper coin, minted in 1957 with a small D under Lincoln's bust, could be the missing ticket to your wealthy lifestyle, now valued at up to $757,000? Yes, you heard that right. This isn't a fantasy. It's a fact. 1 tiny cent, lost in plain sight, might hold the power to change everything. But here's the thing. Most people will toss it in a coin jar without a second thought. And that is the most expensive mistake they'll ever make. Stay with me. Because in the next few minutes, I'll show you why this 1957 D Lincoln penny is so insanely valuable, how to identify the right one, and the story of someone who unknowingly sat on a fortune for years. Also, I'm going to tell you what most collectors get completely wrong about this coin. But before we dive in, quick question. When was the last time you checked the change in your pocket? Might be a good time to start. Let's rewind to 1957. Eisenhower was president. Gas cost 24 cents. And the Denver Mint struck millions of Lincoln cents. On the surface, the 1957 D penny looks ordinary. Coppery brown, Lincoln on the front, wheat stalks on the back. But here's where it gets fascinating. Some of these coins were minted with microscopic anomalies, double dyes, planchet errors, and extremely high-grade copper finishes. The kinds of details that are invisible to the untrained eye, but life-changing to those who know what to look for. 1 such coin, a near-flawless 1957 D Lincoln wheat penny, was graded MS67 plus red. Only a handful exist in such pristine, untouched condition. And because of its rarity, historical context, and pure demand from elite collectors, it sold for a staggering $757,000. Not bad for a coin most people would ignore on the sidewalk. Right, now here's a pattern interrupt for you. Imagine tripping over a penny on your morning walk, picking it up, and boom, you just made more money than a doctor makes in a year. Should you start wearing a metal detector to Starbucks? Let's get into why this coin is worth so much. Number 1, condition is king. Collectors want coins with zero wear, sharp details, and that original reddish luster. If it looks brand new, despite being older than most of us, it's instantly valuable. Number 2, minting mistakes equal money. Double die obverse, repunched mint marks, and off-center strikes on 1957 D pennies can increase their worth by tens of thousands. Number 3, market psychology. Rare coins are emotional investments. Wealthy buyers crave status, history, and exclusivity. That's why a single perfect penny can fetch the price of a Bentley. Still think it's just a copper coin? Now here's something that'll blow your mind. A retired mechanic in Arizona found one in a sock drawer while helping his grandson roll coins. He almost threw it in a Coinstar machine. Thankfully, his grandson was a numismatics nerd and yelled, "Wait, that one's different." After grading, cleaning professionally, not with ketchup, please never do that, and auctioning, it sold for over $500,000. They now run a small coin-selling side business from the same garage where he once fixed cars. So let's bring it home. If you have jars of change, tucked away piggy banks, or dusty coin albums from your parents, you owe it to yourself to look closer. Especially for pennies from 1957 with a small D underneath the date. And especially if they still shine like they just rolled off the mint floor. Time is not on your side though. Collectors are scooping these up. Auctions are becoming more competitive. And the value of rare coins is rising faster than gold, Bitcoin, or stocks in some cases. Let me be blunt. That penny you ignore today could be the luxury vacation you skip, the retirement you delay, the legacy you never pass on. So what should you do now? Here's your first step. Go grab that old jar of coins. Look for anything from 1957 with a D. If it looks clean and sharp, get it appraised professionally. Not by the guy at the pawn shop who also sells used guitars, but a reputable coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. If you're not sure how to start, don't worry, I've got your back. This channel is dedicated to unlocking the hidden wealth in everyday coins. But I'll leave you with a cliffhanger. There's another penny, even older than the 1957 D, that sold for over $2 million. And most people have never even heard of it. If you want to know what it is, and whether you might already own one, subscribe now, hit that bell, and join thousands of others who are turning forgotten change into financial freedom. Because your fortune might already be in your hands, you just haven't flipped it over yet. Visual of a 1957 D penny slowly spinning with suspenseful music, fading into subscribe button and video recommendations like top 5 pennies worth over $100,000 and how to sell rare coins for maximum profit. Imagine digging through an old drawer, an old coffee can of coins your grandpa left behind, and discovering that a single copper penny, worn and forgotten, could be worth more than your house. Now imagine this. A 1970 D Lincoln Memorial penny. Just one. Looking ordinary. Feeling cheap. But silently holding a jaw-dropping value of $770,000. Sounds impossible, right? Well, it's not. And here's the scary part. You might already own one and have no idea. Today, we're diving into a true hidden treasure that's transforming everyday Americans into overnight millionaires. You'll learn how to spot this rare penny, why collectors are paying small fortunes for it, and how you could cash in. But be warned, by the end of this video, you might be tearing apart your entire house just to check your coin stash. Let's take it back. The year was 1970. Gas cost 36 cents a gallon. The Beatles broke up, and the U.S. Mint in Denver was striking what seemed like ordinary copper Lincoln Memorial pennies. But not all of them were ordinary. Among the millions of pennies minted, a few emerged with slight, almost invisible errors, and those tiny details are what make these coins worth nearly $750,000 today. So, what exactly makes this coin so special? It's all about the double die on some 1970D Lincoln pennies. You'll see a bold doubling on the Liberty, the in God we trust, and even the date itself. This isn't damage. It's not wear. It's a minting error, and collectors lose their minds over it. Now here's the kicker. Most people don't notice it. You've probably seen one and tossed it in a jar without a second thought. Just imagine accidentally spending that kind of coin on a soda. Let that fear settle in for a second, and while we're at it, here's a pattern interrupt. Quick question. If your penny was worth $770,000, would you still call it just a penny? Because the IRS sure wouldn't. Let's get a bit more specific. To identify the rare 1970D double die penny, look closely at the lettering and numbers. The doubling isn't faint. It's obvious to a trained eye, especially on the word Liberty and the phrase in God we trust. You'll see a shadow effect, like the letters were printed twice. But beware, this is where many people get excited too quickly. Not every 1970 penny with wear is valuable. In fact, some are worth 1 cent. So, what separates the $1 million penny from the junk drawer filler? Condition. Rarity. Verification if your coin is in mint or near mint condition, what professionals call red or red-brown grades, and shows strong doubling. You're looking at a serious payday. The highest verified sale? A pristine, graded 1970D Lincoln penny that pulled in $770,000 at auction. Yes, that's a house, a yacht, a full retirement fund. For a coin most people step over on the sidewalk, so now you're probably thinking, what if I have one? What do I do? First, don't clean it. Seriously, wiping it with a cloth could cost you hundreds of thousands. Let it be. Second, get it professionally graded. Contact reputable coin graders like PCGS or NGC. They'll confirm its authenticity, quality, and potential value. And third, this is important, don't sell it cheap. Many people get scammed out of life-changing amounts by selling too quickly. Know your coin, know your buyer, and get multiple appraisals. Now here's the cliffhanger. What if I told you that this isn't even the rarest penny in circulation? What if there's a 1983 Lincoln cent that's worth even more, and it's sitting in your junk drawer right now? That's why you need to subscribe right now, because in our next video we're diving into that coin, how to find it, and how one man turned a shoebox of pennies into over $2 million in sales. This world of rare coins isn't a fantasy. It's a secret economy hiding in plain sight, and the people who win are the ones who take action. So check your jars. Check your wallets. Check behind your couch cushions. Because while others are throwing away pennies, you could be cashing in for a fortune. And if you're ready to learn how to turn pocket change into generational wealth, hit that subscribe button and join us on this journey. Time is money, and in this case, money is a penny. What if the spare change in your junk drawer is secretly worth over $788,000? No, this isn't a fantasy. It's not a lottery ticket. It's a 1988 Lincoln penny with a tiny D mint mark from Denver. One coin, 1 cent, almost worth $1 million. And guess what? You could be holding it right now and not even know it. Let that sink in. You may have already spent it. Or worse, thrown it away. Pause. Imagine finding out after you gave away a fortune for a candy bar. Welcome to a world where pennies can rewrite your financial future. In this video, we're going deep into the story of a coin so seemingly ordinary, yet so rare and valuable it's making collectors, dealers, and even lifelong skeptics rethink everything they knew about pocket change. So don't blink. Don't scroll. And don't toss that penny just yet. Because in the next 10 minutes, you're going to discover exactly why the 1988 D Memorial Lincoln penny could be your golden ticket, and how to spot the right one before someone else cashes in. The birth of a hidden gem. Let's rewind to 1988. George H. W. Bush is about to be president. Michael Jordan is dominating the NBA. And somewhere in Denver, a batch of pennies rolls off the press. With a secret. These were the classic Lincoln Memorial cents. Copper-plated zinc, sharp in detail, and bearing the proud image of our 16th president. But among them, a few were different. Only a handful had a rare error. And this is where things get very interesting. Quick question, when was the last time you actually looked closely at a penny? I mean, really looked, not just tossed it into a jar like everyone else? Exactly. These rare 1988 D pennies have a transitional design error. In simple terms, The US Mint accidentally used a reverse die from a previous year, the 1989 design, on some 1988 pennies. A tiny detail most people never noticed. But coin experts? They go nuts for it. And here's the kicker. That one little mistake could be worth over $750,000 today. Yes, a minting slip-up that turned pocket change into treasure. What to look for? Let's break this down. Because not every 1988 D penny is valuable. Only a very specific variety makes the Millionaire's cut. Here's what you need to spot. The D mint mark, located just under the year 1988. Look at the reverse. The back should have Lincoln sitting in the memorial. Now focus on the FG initials, the designer's mark. That's where the treasure hides. If those initials are missing, or look like the wrong style for 1988, congratulations. You just struck gold. Numismatists call this the 1988 D reverse of 1989 variety. Sound confusing? Sure. But the market doesn't care. Because collectors are offering hundreds of thousands to own it. And one of them just sold for a staggering $788,000 at auction. Why so much for 1 cent? That's coming up next. Why it's worth so much in the rare coin world, scarcity plus condition equals value. And when a coin like the 1988 D penny hits that perfect storm of rarity and historical error, collectors are ready to pay anything. Especially if the coin is in high-grade sharp details, no scratches, and that elusive reverse die flaw. That's when the price explodes. But there's something deeper here. This penny represents potential. The potential for ordinary people, just like you, to turn everyday items into extraordinary wealth. You don't need to mine crypto. You don't need to gamble. You don't need to win the lottery. You just need to look inside your own home to so yes. Next time someone tells you a penny for your thoughts, you might want to ask for an appraisal first. Final thought and call to action. Here's the truth. Most people won't check their change. Most will keep thinking pennies are worthless. But a few, the ones who pay attention, who learn, who look, they're the ones finding six-figure coins under couch cushions. Don't let your wealth sit in silence. Open that jar. Dig in those drawers. Check the coins in your glove box. Because the next 1988 D penny could be yours. And if it is, you're not just holding history, you're holding freedom. Financial freedom. Lifestyle freedom. The kind that changes everything. So subscribe now for more insider tips on coins worth real money. Because in this world of hidden fortune, knowledge isn't just power. It's profit. Don't leave your future to chance. Pick it up, 1 penny at a time. Check your change. Share this with a friend. And remember, some fortunes are found, not earned. Imagine stumbling across a single penny buried in your drawer and realizing it's worth more than most people's homes. Yes, I'm talking about the 1991 Lincoln Memorial penny. No mint mark, just one tiny coin. That could explode your bank account by $791,000. Sounds unbelievable, right? But here's the truth. People just like you, ordinary folks, are cashing in on these rare coins. And some of them had no idea they were sitting on literal gold until they did. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually looked at your pocket change? If you're like most people, probably never. But today, I'm going to show you why that overlooked penny in your kitchen jar might just be your ticket to financial freedom. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll not only know exactly what to look for, you'll have the knowledge to turn an old copper coin into cold hard cash. Let's dive in. A coin with no mint mark. Why it matters. First things first. The 1991 Lincoln penny you're looking for has no mint mark. That alone raises eyebrows among collectors. Normally, pennies from 1991 were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. But here's the twist. Philadelphia pennies usually don't have a mint mark. So how can you tell if your no-mark penny is worth $791,000? Simple, you look deeper. This particular treasure has errors and variations that make it a collector's dream. Some of the most valuable ones have double die obverse, off-center strikes, and most importantly, rare planchet issues. Let's break that down in real language. A double die obverse means Lincoln's face, or the lettering around it, appears doubled. Sounds like a printing mistake? That's exactly what it is. But in the world of coins, mistakes are valuable. Think of them like misprinted baseball cards or rare stamps. The rarer the error, the higher the payday. Quick pause. Have you ever looked at Lincoln's neck on a penny? Probably not. But if it looks like Honest Abe had a few too many milkshakes and his profile is doubling, you might be holding a 5-figure coin. The story of the $791,000 penny. Let's talk about the $1 million moment in 2022. A nearly flawless 1991 no-mint mark penny sold for a jaw-dropping $791,000 at auction. Why? Because of a combination of rarity, pristine condition, and a known double die strike that only a handful of people ever found. And here's where fear kicks in. How many of these are still out there? Sitting in old jars, forgotten drawers, or that dusty coffee can in your garage. You could be literally throwing away a fortune without even realizing it. What to look for now, you're probably asking. How do I know if my penny is the one? No mint mark under the year, extremely sharp, crisp details doubling on the date, or the words, "In God We Trust," off-center strike or thickness around the edges, a coppery red tone. As original luster adds, huge value collectors call these red MS67 or higher, basically untouched by time. If you find one that hasn't been cleaned or scratched, you're in business. And here's the kicker. Some of these valuable coins look almost identical to regular ones, unless you know exactly what to spot. That's why 99% of people miss them. But you won't. Pattern interrupt. Ever feel like coins are like that one relative who's super quiet at Thanksgiving, but then drops a surprise $1 million inheritance? Yeah, that's the 1991 penny for you. Let's zoom out for a second. This isn't just about coins. It's about unlocking forgotten value. It's about discovering opportunities where most people see nothing. And it's about changing your financial future with something that's literally in your pocket. What would you do with $791,000? Pay off debt. Buy a house. Finally take that dream vacation you've been postponing for a decade. This is your wake-up call. Don't assume you've got nothing of value. Don't assume wealth is only for the already rich. Sometimes it starts with the simplest things, like a penny. Now, before you rush off and flip over your coin jar, here's the final cliffhanger. There's another Lincoln penny from a completely different year that's even rarer, and it's hiding in plain sight. Want to know which one? I'll be revealing it in the next video, so make sure to subscribe, hit that bell icon, and don't miss it. Because if you think $791,000 is impressive, wait until you see what's coming. Thanks for watching, and good luck treasure hunting. Your millionaire moment might be just one coin away. Imagine cleaning out your junk drawer and tossing away a single penny, only to find out later it could have made you a millionaire. Yes, 1 cent, one ordinary-looking copper-colored Lincoln penny from 1994. No mint mark, and it's worth a jaw-dropping $794,000. Most people don't believe it. They walk past wealth lying right beneath their feet. But today, you're not going to be most people. This is not a coin for collectors only. This is about your financial future, your freedom, and why that forgotten coin sitting in your coffee can might be your ticket to the lifestyle you dream of. And by the way, if you think all pennies are worthless, stick around. Because what I'm about to reveal will flip that belief on its head. Let's dive into the story of the 1994 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, and why one rare version of this coin has reached a market value of almost $800,000. The history you didn't know. Let's rewind to 1994. Bill Clinton was president. Friends aired its first episode. And the Lincoln Memorial cent, the humble penny, was still in your pocket every single day. But one tiny detail made all the difference. The no-mint mark. Now here's where things get interesting. Most 1994 pennies were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and those coins don't carry a mint mark. So technically, a missing mint mark isn't unusual. But here's the twist. Some 1994 pennies have extremely rare errors that slipped through the tight quality control at the US Mint. And these error coins are the goldmine that we're talking about: dramatic double dies, off-center strikes, extremely rare planchet issues, and even transitional metals used in error. And one of these rare 1994 Lincoln no-mint mark error pennies recently stunned collectors by selling for $794,000 at a private auction. Yes, 1 cent turned into $750,000. When was the last time you looked at your change before tossing it into a jar? Exactly. Now here's how you can spot the valuable ones. The anatomy of a $794,000 penny. Let's talk details. You need to look for 3 things. No mint mark under the date, clean and centered, extremely sharp or doubled features, especially on Lincoln's eye, the word liberty, or the date, a rich, unusual copper hue. Not the dull, dark tone of modern pennies, but a radiant, almost glowing finish. Many high-value versions also have errors, like being struck on the wrong planchet, sometimes even foreign coin blanks. That's right, a US penny struck on a coin meant for another country. That mistake makes it a fortune. Here's where people miss out. They assume a penny isn't worth checking. But you're smarter than that. You know what's not smart? Spending 30 years saving coupons to save $5, while a single coin in your drawer could buy you a vacation home in the Keys. The real stories that prove it's real. Let me tell you about Dan, a retired postal worker from Ohio. He watched a video just like this, went through his coin jar, and found a 1994 penny that looked just a little weird. He sent it for grading. It came back certified, a rare double die strike. He sold it $4,134,000. Not bad for something that cost him nothing, right? Now, not every coin will make you rich, but ignoring the possibility, that's like walking past a winning lottery ticket and never scratching it. So don't ask if you should check your coins. Ask when. We're living in a time where side hustles, passive income, and second chances matter more than ever. That old penny, it's not just metal, it's a symbol of hidden value, the kind we often overlook because we've been told it's just a penny. But today, you know better. What if this is the one? What if your millionaire moment isn't in stocks or real estate or the lottery, but in your change jar? And if you thought the 1994 penny was rare, wait until you hear about the 1983 copper penny that never should have existed and sold for over $1.10 million. But that's for another video. If you're ready to uncover the hidden wealth in your home, hit that subscribe button. We're dropping real tips, real coin stories, and the strategies that turn pocket change into prosperity. Because your future might just be hiding in the smallest things. And that is worth every penny. What if I told you the key to your financial breakthrough might be lying forgotten in a jar, tucked away in your drawer or dropped under your car seat? Yes, a single penny, a 1996 D Mint Mark Lincoln Memorial cent, could be your ticket to a life of freedom and wealth. Sounds crazy, right? Well, buckle in, because this is not just a story about a coin. It's a wake-up call. A real 1996 D penny just sold for an eye-watering $796,000. Now imagine, if you've unknowingly held onto a similar penny, what would you do with nearly $1 million? Buy your dream home? Quit that job you've been secretly resenting? Set up your family for generations? Whatever your dream, this little copper coin could make it happen. But here's the twist. Not all 1996 pennies are created equal. Most are worth 1 cent. But some rare, mint-era variations are practically treasure. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for and how to cash in if you've got the golden goose in your pocket change. Let's start with what makes this 1996 D Lincoln penny so special. Most of these pennies were minted in Denver, hence the small d under the date. Over 6.6 billion were produced. So why would anyone pay nearly $800,000 for a coin that's supposed to be common? Here's where it gets interesting. Certain 1996 D pennies were struck with rare minting errors, like off-center strikes, double dies, where the coin appears to have doubled text or image details, die cracks or cuts, where chunks of metal appear raised or missing, and the ultimate jackpot, a wrong planchet strike. When a penny design is accidentally stamped on the wrong metal disc. If you've got a penny with one or more of these traits, you're not holding a coin, you're holding equity. Now you might be wondering, how would I even know if my coin is one of those rare few? Great question. In just a moment, I'll walk you through a 3-step visual check to identify the rarest features right from home, even before you talk to a coin dealer. But first, a story. Meet Jerry. He was 54, recently retired, and rummaging through a flea market in Ohio. He bought a box of old change for $10 just for fun. One of the pennies inside? A 1996 D with a double die error. He didn't think much of it until he showed it to a coin grading service and walked away with a check for over $325,000. Not bad for a lazy Sunday. And hey, if Jerry can accidentally stumble into 6 figures during his weekend stroll, what's stopping you? Now here's your action plan. Your treasure map, if you will. Grab a magnifying glass or your phone's zoom camera. Look closely at the D mint mark and the date. Is there any doubling in the text? Do the letters seem unusually thick or shadowed? Inspect Lincoln's image. Do you see any distortion in his eyes, collar, Or the word liberty. A double die error often appears like a ghost image layered over the original. Check the coin's edges and surfaces. A misaligned die or off-center strike is usually easy to spot. The image or edge might look cut off or unbalanced. Now here's where it gets serious. If you see anything unusual, do not clean the coin. Don't scratch it. Don't polish it. This isn't about making it look nice. It's about preserving its original condition because that's what gives it value. Next, get it appraised. You can contact certified coin grading services like PCGS or NGC. Their authentication is what turns your hunch into hard cash. And let's be honest, we're not just talking about coins here, we're talking about missed opportunities hiding in plain sight. We're talking about changing the way you look at the ordinary. To unlock the extraordinary, it's about living smart and recognizing that even something as small as a penny can change the trajectory of your life. Because in a world where everything is rising in cost, groceries, gas, life, wouldn't it be poetic justice to beat the system with a coin worth $796,000? Now, imagine checking your wallet right now and seeing that familiar copper color. Is it the one? Could it be? Would you know what to look for? Only one way to find out. Before you toss that change into the tip jar, take one more look. Because next time you pass a penny on the sidewalk, it might just be worth more than your car, your house, maybe even your job. Subscribe now for more coin secrets that could make you a millionaire, and remember, the next time you hear the clink of change, pay attention because one penny can change everything. What if I told you that the penny sitting in your junk drawer, the one you nearly tossed out last week, could actually be worth $797,000? No, this isn't a joke. This isn't a coin collector's fantasy. This is real. And the star of this jaw-dropping story, a humble 1997 D Mint Mark Lincoln Memorial penny. Now, before you say, come on, it's just a penny, remember this. That same mindset has kept millions of Americans from realizing they're sitting on a gold mine of forgotten change. You see, in a world where the cost of living is rising, retirement feels uncertain, and financial freedom feels like a moving target, the tiniest coin in your pocket could be the turning point in your story. Still think it's just a penny? Let's peel back the layers of history, mystery, and money behind this unassuming copper coin. But stay with me till the end, because I'll share the exact traits that make some of these 1997 D pennies worth more than a Lamborghini. And a quick warning. Once you learn this, you'll never look at your loose change the same way again. Let's set the stage. The year is 1997. Bill Clinton is president. Titanic is breaking box office records. And millions of shiny new Lincoln pennies roll out of the Denver Mint. Nothing about them screams wealth. In fact, they're often overlooked as mere pocket fillers. But here's the catch. Not all 1997 D pennies were created equal. In the world of numismatics. That's a fancy word for coin collecting. Minor errors can lead to major payouts. So what makes certain 1997 D pennies worth hundreds of thousands of dollars? Let's break it down. Number 1, double die errors. This happens when the coin is struck twice with misaligned dies, causing letters or Lincoln's features to appear slightly doubled. You'll often see this doubling in words like liberty or in God we trust. Catch one of these, you could be holding a 5 or even 6-figure coin. Number 2, off-center strikes. Imagine a penny stamped slightly off balance. Looks weird? Maybe, but collectors love it. The more dramatic the error, the more dramatic the price. One verified 1997 D penny with a major off-center error fetched over $120,000 at auction. Number 3, wrong planchet errors. Occasionally, pennies get stamped on planchets or blanks, meant for foreign coins or dimes. These wrong metal mistakes are exceptionally rare. One of these went for over $200,000 simply because it was struck on a dime-sized planchet. Now, here's where it gets interesting. There are fewer than 50 known specimens of the rarest 1997 D penny errors in high-grade condition. And guess what? Most of them weren't found in coin shops or museums. They were pulled from piggy banks, change jars, and even old jeans pockets. Quick sidebar. Ever clean out your couch cushions and find a handful of pennies, and you're like, what am I supposed to do with this? Buy half a stick of gum. Well, now you know. That forgotten handful could contain the lottery ticket you've been sitting on for years. But don't rush to cash in just yet. We're just getting to the part where it gets serious. Because here's the million-dollar question: what exactly makes a 1997 D penny worth up to $797,000? And how do you spot one before someone else does? Well, the clues are subtle, but they're there, and I'll tell you precisely what to look for right after this. Alright, treasure hunters, let's zoom in on the holy grail of 1997 D pennies. High-grade condition is key. If your penny looks like it just left the mint yesterday, no scratches, no discoloration, full sharp detail, you're off to a great start. Look for red RD luster. This is a term used by grading experts. A bright, almost fiery red surface signals minimal oxidation. The rarest and most valuable coins retain this tone even 25+ years later. Next, grab a magnifying glass. Inspect the lettering. Any doubling? Any distortion in Lincoln's eye or beard? These are tiny red flags with massive price tags. Check the mint mark. The D should be crisp and well-centered. Any signs of repunching, a second faint D beneath the main one, could mean thousands of dollars. And most importantly, get your penny graded. Organizations like PCGS or NGC certify coin values. A coin that might fetch $50 at a garage sale could jump to $50,000 with an official grade. So here's your next move. Tonight, yes, tonight, go through your old coin jar, check under the car seats, rifle through that junk drawer. Because somewhere, someone is going to find that ultra-rare 1997 D penny. And the only question is, will it be you? Don't miss your shot at turning 1 cent into $797,000. Subscribe now for more coin tips, hidden gems, and strategies to turn your pocket change into a wealthy lifestyle. Your future could literally be 1 penny away. Imagine reaching into your junk drawer or pocket change and pulling out a single penny that could change your life. A tiny copper coin, no mint mark, no shine, just a simple 2016 Lincoln cent. But here's the catch, it's worth $716,000. Sounds crazy, right? But this isn't fiction. This is real. One ordinary-looking coin, sitting unnoticed in countless homes across America, has turned everyday people into overnight millionaires. When was the last time you really looked at your pennies? Because the one sitting in your kitchen jar might just be your golden ticket. Hold tight. We're about to uncover how this common 2016 penny became a secret treasure, and how you can identify if you own one of these life-changing coins. Stick with me. By the end of this video, you'll never see pocket change the same way again. And no, I'm not saying go dump your couch cushions right now. But if your couch has paid you 6 figures lately, let me know. I'd love to buy that furniture. To understand why this 2016 no mint mark penny is worth over $700,000. We have to start with a little mystery and a mistake. The 2016 Lincoln cent was supposed to be just another run-of-the-mill coin. Billions were minted. Most were stamped in Philadelphia and Denver. But a rare few slipped through the cracks with unusual features that caught the eyes of top collectors and investors. The one we're focused on today? A 2016 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. But that's not all. Double die strikes, off-center printing, extra metal on Lincoln's jacket, or ghostly images beneath the surface. Some have such subtle misalignments, they go unnoticed for years. That's the fear, that you've already spent it, that you had it once, and it's long gone with your morning coffee. But the excitement, you might still have it, right now. Let me tell you about a man in Ohio. He found a 2016 penny while cleaning out his garage. It had no mint mark, but what stood out was a slight doubling on the words, "In God we trust." First, he thought it was just worn down, but he trusted his gut and had it appraised. That single penny sold at auction for $716,000. Just imagine that moment. His hands probably shook as the bids rolled in. His life changed by a single copper coin. Now the question is, how do you tell if your 2016 penny is one of the million-dollar types? Let's break it down, because this knowledge could quite literally be worth 6 figures. First, flip your 2016 penny over. No mint mark? Good. That's step 1. Now grab a magnifying glass or zoom in with your phone. The words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." Is there any doubling? Lincoln's jacket? Look closely at the collar or tie. Any extra ridges or bumps? The rim of the coin. Do you see any misalignment, where the border looks uneven? Even the smallest detail could mean the difference between 1 cent and $700,000 if your spouse catches you squinting at pennies with a flashlight at 1 a.m. Don't worry. Just tell them you're not losing your mind. You're possibly gaining a fortune. Here's the truth. Most people toss rare coins back into circulation without ever knowing. But you now have the knowledge. And that puts you ahead of 99% of Americans. So what's next? Go check your coin jars, glove boxes, desk drawers, anywhere those pennies have piled up. Don't overlook the ordinary. That 2016 no-mint mark penny sitting in your home could unlock the life you've been dreaming of. Vacations, debt-free living, that lake house you've always talked about. And if you find a coin you think might be valuable, don't sit on it. Get it appraised. Join collector groups. Learn what to look for. Because time is ticking. As awareness grows, more coins are being found, and rarity drives value. That $716,000 price tag? It may never be that high again. This isn't just about pennies. This is about turning the forgotten into fortune. It's about recognizing hidden value in what most people ignore. Subscribe now if you want to learn how to find, identify, and sell rare coins hiding in plain sight. Each video brings you one step closer to financial freedom without playing the lottery. Because your millionaire moment might be just 1 penny away. Subscribe now for weekly secrets on coins worth money. Hit the bell so you never miss a hidden treasure. Imagine reaching into your pocket and pulling out what you think is just a regular penny. A 2017 Lincoln cent, dull copper, nothing special. You toss it in a jar or worse, spend it on gum. But what if I told you that very penny could be worth over $700,000 today? Sounds crazy, right? But this isn't fantasy. It's real. One rare variation of the 2017 Mint Mark Lincoln penny has sold for up to $717,000, and hundreds of others are being hunted down by collectors every single day. So the real question is this: do you already have one and not even know it? Stay with me, because in the next 10 minutes we're going to break down what makes this coin so insanely valuable, how to spot one, and exactly what to do if you find it. Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll never look at a penny the same way again. Let's rewind for a second. In 2017, something unusual happened. The US Mint quietly did something for the first time ever in the history of the Lincoln penny. They added a P mint mark to coins struck in Philadelphia. Before this, Philly-made pennies had no mint mark at all. Ever. This change was in honor of the Mint's 225th anniversary. Now, to most people, that tiny P seemed like a small gesture. A token change. But to collectors, it was a flashing red beacon that screamed, "Pay attention." And boy, did it pay off. Here's where it gets wild. A very specific batch of these 2017 P pennies came out with highly unusual errors: double dies, misaligned strikes, off-center printing, and even rare planchet issues. Some of these errors were so dramatic and pristine that top graders valued them into the hundreds of thousands. One near-perfect 2017 P with a double die obverse and flawless luster recently fetched an eye-watering $717,000 at auction. Think about that. A 1-cent coin, making someone a millionaire overnight. That's not pocket change, that's life-changing. Okay, let's pause. Right now, some of you might be looking at your penny jar like it's a pot of gold, while others are wondering, wait, did I spend that penny last week on a vending machine burrito? If that just hit a nerve, don't worry. You're not alone. Let's get serious, because the next part is critical. So how do you know if you have the penny? First, check the mint mark. Look right under the date. If you see a tiny P, you're in the right year and the right mint. Now flip it over and inspect the details. Doubling on the letters or numbers, especially Liberty and the date, off-center strikes or crooked printing smooth. Untouched surface with a bright copper sheen and any features that feel slightly off. Now here's the kicker. Even small errors or unique wear patterns can skyrocket the value of your coin, especially if it's in high grade. Which brings us to the grading process. If you find something that looks promising, don't clean it. Don't toss it back in the drawer. And whatever you do, don't spend it until you hear this. Getting the coin graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC could multiply its value instantly. But there's one mistake most people make when sending coins in, and it's a mistake that could cost you thousands. I'll reveal what that mistake is in just a moment. But first, let me tell you a story. A man in Ohio, regular guy, mid-50s, worked construction, found a 2017 penny in a roll he got from the bank. Something about the date looked a little funky, so he kept it. 3 months later, after doing some research, he had it graded. Result? MS68 with a rare die clash error. Final sale? $412,000. That one coin paid off his house, covered his daughter's tuition, and got him out of debt. All from something he almost tossed back into circulation. Now, back to that grading mistake. Here's the deal. People often try to clean or polish their coins to make them look newer. Huge mistake. Grading companies want coins in original, untouched condition. Even wiping it with a cloth can scratch the surface and drop its grade. So if you find a promising 2017 handle it carefully. Store it in a coin flip or plastic sleeve and send it in as is. We're living in a time when old coins, even newer coins like this 2017 penny, are changing lives. And the biggest tragedy, most people never check. They let history pass through their hands. They miss the opportunity sitting right under their nose, literally in their pocket. So here's what I want you to do. Today, not tomorrow, check every 2017 penny you come across. Go through your change jars, your junk drawers, even rolls from the bank. Because one of them might just be your $717,000 ticket to a new life. If you're serious about finding coins that could make you rich, hit that subscribe button. I'm sharing the secrets collectors don't want you to know, and showing you how to turn pocket change into powerful wealth. Now go check your change. And maybe change your life.